Hook. People say kindness is its own reward, but what if that one act of kindness changes your life forever? It was a gloomy evening in the city of Lahore. The rain poured relentlessly, drumming against the tin roofs, soaking the streets, and turning the world gray. People rushed past each other with umbrellas, desperate to get home, ignoring the puddles and the poor souls caught in the storm without shelter. Amid the chaos, Noor, a 29-year-old nurse, stood beneath a flimsy bus stop roof, clutching her worn-out satchel. Her shift at the government hospital had ended an hour ago, but the heavy downpour had stranded her. Still wearing her pale blue uniform, her feet ached from standing all day, and her eyes drooped from fatigue, but her heart remained light. Helping others had always been her purpose. Her patients, old, young, wealthy, poor, they all mattered the same. But tonight, she wanted nothing more than to get home, heat the leftover dal, and hug her little brother before he fell asleep. Just as she adjusted her scarf against the wind, she noticed a figure slumped on the edge of the footpath, barely visible in the rain. People walked past him like he didn't exist. But Noor couldn't. Her instincts took over. She ran toward the man. He was young, soaked through, his clothes expensive but now clinging to his frame like rags. One of his hands clutched his chest, the other pressed against a bleeding cut on his forehead. Noor knelt beside him, her medical mind immediately alert. "Sir? Can you hear me?" she asked, brushing the wet hair from his face. He groaned softly. His breathing was labored, and his lips were pale. "Noor! What are you doing?" yelled a fruit vendor from behind. "Leave him. Might be drunk or dangerous." But Noor ignored the warnings. "I need a taxi," she shouted, flagging one down. Moments later, she had him in the back seat, her hand still pressed to his wound. She gave the driver the address of her hospital. As the car jerked through potholes, she didn't notice the expensive watch on his wrist or the branded leather shoes. All she saw was someone in need. At the emergency ward, she guided the doctors and helped clean him up. When her senior questioned why she brought in a stranger during her off hours, she simply said, "Because he's human." He had no wallet, no ID. The hospital registered him as unknown male, mid-30s. Noor stayed by his side till midnight, until he stabilized. Then she left quietly. 2 days passed. Noor returned to her routine. Her modest flat, her little brother Omar who she raised after their parents' death, her daily shifts, and the patients who remembered her name even when pain clouded their memories. Then, on the third day, the hospital administrator summoned her. She walked in nervously, adjusting her dupatta. To her shock, standing in the office wasn't her supervisor, but the same man from the rain. Clean-shaven now, in a crisp black suit, he stood tall, confident but kind-eyed. He stepped forward, offering his hand. "Miss Noor, I'm Adil Raza." She blinked. The name sounded familiar. He smiled. "CEO of Raza Tech." Noor's breath caught. Raza Tech was a billion-rupee tech company, featured in magazines, the news. Its founder, Adil, was known for his low profile and massive philanthropy. "You helped me when no one else would. I didn't have my phone, my guards were late, and someone tried to mug me. I hit my head on the pavement trying to get away." Noor stammered, "I didn't know who you were." "That's why it meant so much," Adil replied. He extended a small box. Inside was a gold pin shaped like a stethoscope, with her name engraved. Noor was touched, but confused. "I don't need gifts, sir." He chuckled. "It's not a gift. It's a reminder that people like you exist in this world." He then handed her an envelope. "And this is a full scholarship for your younger brother's education. Private school, all fees covered. Starting next week." Noor's knees nearly gave out. "Why would you?" "Because when I needed someone the most, you didn't ask who I was. You just helped." I think the world needs more Noors. Weeks turned to months. Adil began visiting the hospital more often, first with donations, then with full medical tech upgrades. But he always greeted Noor first. Over time, their interactions became warmer, jokes shared over lunch breaks, talks about their childhoods, and dreams for a better healthcare system. People began to notice. Rumors swirled. One evening, as the sun dipped low over the hospital roof, painting the sky in orange hues, Adil stood beside Noor as they watched children playing outside the ward. I used to think success was in numbers, money, reach, he said quietly. Noor smiled. And now? Now, I think it's in moments like this. In choosing to stop and help a stranger. He turned to her. Noor. Would you let me walk beside you, not just through hospitals, but through life? Tears welled up in her eyes. Yes, she whispered. Ending message. Sometimes, we think our actions are small, unnoticed. But one act of kindness, one decision to help someone, can ripple through the universe. Noor didn't know she was helping a millionaire. She only knew she was helping a human. And in return, she gained more than she ever imagined. Because kindness doesn't just change others, it transforms.